Why is there a working camera in my space? What about my rights? Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Amahle Ngcobo if you're new, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning. If I keep on looking to the side, I'm just trying to check if my camera is still focusing, because yeah, we've been having a bit of an issue. There's 3 videos I want to do sitting down like this one-on-one. Number 1 is the UNISA video, me studying law in UNISA video and what works best for me. Number 2 is the Q&A I asked on Instagram, and I received questions, yet I still haven't answered them. Then number 3 is the story time of why I left au pairing in South Africa after 1 week. I'm gonna do that one now because that was the one that I received most questions on as to why I left, and people on my close friends were like, girl, you gotta tell us the details, because I shared a picture of a camera in my room, a whole camera in my room, and I was like, yeah. Just to mention a few if you are looking for, it's Little Sunshine, it's au pair, the au pair essay, au pair extraordinaire. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna mention those 3 for now because those are the ones that I remember. All of these require you to have a car. Au pair SA, you don't have to have a car, but you get the job easier if you have a car. And I don't have a car, right? So I got this family. I don't know if you're watching my channel, you know with whose family, you know how I got this family. I don't want to go deep in that hole of how I got this specific family, but so I get in. Now the problem is, okay, I had some sort of an idea of what I was getting myself into, but it wasn't as tense as I thought, because yeah, it wasn't as tense as I thought it would. I didn't think it was going to be as tense as it was. And boy, was it tense. Like, I felt as if I was going under military training. And I don't know, as I'm explaining, guys, you'll get to see, but some things it feels like I'll be like, how, guys, you complaining for nothing? But when all these things accumulate together, it's very hard to cope. Yeah, it's very hard to cope, and it's very hard to manage your life, and you end up feeling like you don't have a life outside au pairing. That's the thing about au pairing too. If you get even in America, because I was an au pair in the US, the thing about that is, if you have a job that has a lot of hours, you will not have a life. Like, you will have a life in a sense that, sure, you're not working 24/7, but if you work like 10, 9, 8 hours a day, you'll constantly feel exhausting, because one thing you don't understand, guys, is kids are exhausting, whether you like it or not. Like, I can't even imagine what mothers go through, even like because I have friends that have I have friends that are now parents, and I'm just like, my Shayla, how do you handle this? And I went into this house. It was 2 children. Now I'm gonna literally nitpick the words that are coming out of my mouth, because I don't want to sound as if what I'm saying is, I don't want to sound like a bad person, you know. But, and trust me guys, I'm not a bad person. I'm really not a bad person. But I'll say it and then you'll pick it up before I don't know if I'm going to actually say it. There's one community in this country that everyone complains about, they are known as the worst employers to have. And I worked for that community. Now, I'm not saying everyone in that community is like, it's just bad people, and yeah, I'd never recommend them. No, I totally disagree. And generally, race would not matter in this situation, but I've had one too many people complain about the same family, and this is always a red flag. Even in the US, people will say, be ready. But other than that, like, I went into the family, and the first thing is that I was supposed to be staying inside the house the week of training. I don't understand why I wasn't staying. I had to ask my friend for accommodation because she stayed like 10 minutes away from the house. But the fact that I didn't have a car, if Zama didn't borrow me her car for that week, I don't know how we would have managed. I didn't have a car, and she still expected me to come at 5:30 in the morning to get the kids ready. if you like, do you hear how that sounds? Like the kids wake up at 6, but I need to start preparing for like making their breakfast, making their lunch at 5:30. To me, that is utterly, I can't even fathom how I was able to get through that week. Actually, excuse me, actually I don't think I was able to get through that week because it drained me. I had to wake up at, be there, I had to wake up at 4, be there by 5:30, because I take an hour with preparing in the morning, and then the 30 minutes was for, because it took me 10 minutes to get there and another 10 minutes to drive around the estate, because I also needed to park my car, the car that I was using, which was my sister's car, not in their yard, and then walk to them. Imagine this is all happening at 5:30 in the morning. Actually 5:20 in the morning. When I got there, yeah, prepare the lunch, and I mean the kids were very sweet, but I don't want to speak too much on the kids because I mean they are only kids. Then 5:30, by 7:30 I needed to be out the house and then taking them to school, because I had assistance that wasn't too hectic from the person that was training me. There's 4 hours in between. Wait, it's 5 hours, but the last hour you have to prepare lunch for the kids for when they come back and just prepare for your day. So it's actually 4 hours in between. On Wednesdays, I was responsible for taking the grandma to hospital. That is not part of au pair duties. An au pair's duty is to be there for the kids, nothing more. I'm gonna need to delete some stuff, my storage. Nothing more, nothing less, just for the kids. I needed to, but they wanted me to take the grandma to a doctor's appointment in my free time. Then I don't know what was the other thing that I needed to do that wasn't my responsibility, because I didn't get to do. I don't know if it was, there were moments where I'd need to go with I didn't need, that week I didn't do it, but there were moments where they were gonna come if I stayed, where I need to drop the dad off at work, which wasn't fair enough. It wasn't too far, but then again, it is not my responsibility. I hate when host families get comfortable with handing you duties that have nothing to do with you. Then there was the help that I was getting. My sister was training me, and I don't know how she survived that long, guys, in that house. She's been there for 2 years, and I can't. There's this lady there who is the housekeeper in general, and she oversees. No, she doesn't oversee. I'm lying. She is just the housekeeper, but she's been with the family for years. I don't know how to explain it, guys. She just does not, there's nothing that makes her happy. Like, I could already feel how fake her energy was towards me, and I was like, because then again, I was aware of some of the things she had done, but I tried to walk in the house with an unbiased mind, and I was like, I don't want anything to affect me, any beef that was there that existed to affect me. When I got in the house, did she not tell the lady, because there was me, there was the housekeeper, and then there was a lady who irons clothes, who folds clothes, irons and folds clothes, and then the housekeeper told her that basically she's gonna put me through hell, you know. I don't want to say it word for word. She said something very disturbing, let me say it like that, but she said something so evil, like basically wanting to put me through a lot. And it's like, I just arrived, it's been what, 5 days in this house, and you already want me to suffer. And the thing is, because she's been there for like years, I think she's been there for like 13 years, of course they are always gonna pick her side. And I didn't want to put myself through a toxic work environment, because at the end of the day, what I'm there for is just au pairing, and then I'm gonna be out. Then another thing was, because I had 4 hours in the day, guys, when I say au pairing is exhausting, believe me guys, I was working 9 hours a day, 4 hours that I had in between, and then I'm done around 8. By the time it's 8 p.m., I don't want to touch my books. I don't want to study. Academically, I did not want any disturbances, so that played a huge role in me sliding back. That whole week, I don't know, maybe I got in 4 to 6 hours of studying, and that's what I get in a day for me, literally. I studied that amount of time in a day. So of course times will change if you have a job, but not that much. Like, my body was exhausted. There was a time where I literally could not do anything. I tried, my body was just saying no. After we dropped off the kids, I got in bed and slept. That was a huge contribution as to why I left, because I felt like that would be the main, would be me sacrificing my studies for work. And it was like, why? My mother had to remind me that actually you do not need this. Like, as much as you want to have some extra income and you want to be responsible and whatnot, because that's the main reason why I wanted the job, me being financially stable and getting some sort of income. But I was like, ain't no way. She goes ahead and tells me, I do not take mistakes. I can handle I forgot. I can handle I can't handle I forgot, or I made a mistake. And I'm like, how can you not handle mistakes when this is my first week? The whole month is going to be me making so many mistakes. There were so many things that just screamed, like, when you know for a fact that if you had to do what I'm doing, you wouldn't do it the way you're telling me to do it. You're just expecting everything to just be perfect. And I'm like, what kind of machine do you think I am? Let's be for real.